standing in front of him, all wondering what the hell's going on. Right? He stands from the best seat that was in the house. He stands up, puts his hands together, turns in the direction of the Blessed One, and said to Nigantanatha Putta, "Well then, Venerable Sir, you have asked me the question, whose disciple am I? Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Venerable Sir, hear whose disciple I am." That's when he starts to go on and gives 100 names, each one different to the one before. 100 names for the Buddha. One after the other, one after the other, one after the other. Every 10 names he gives, he says, that is whose disciple I am. So there are 10 stanzas in this, of which the first, is it on screen? I'm going to put on screen for you now. So these stanzas, these are the stanzas we've been reciting during the Sinhala sermons. And it really, you know, if you understand the grandeur of this occasion and also the prowess of the Buddha and what a blessing it is to be a disciple of his, as you say this out loud, it really sends a shiver down your spine. So here's the first of the 10 stanzas. You're welcome to go and look at the others. Perhaps one day we can go through them one by one. It just depends on what feedback we get. But I'll just conclude the story before we... And I will go to that towards right before we end. Can you all see that on screen now? Yeah? So up in bold black letters is the Pali stanza. So that's Dhirassa Vigata Mohassa. So in English, that would the meanings I have printed just below that. So of whom who is wise, free from ignorance. Because if you didn't understand, at least, you know, if Pali or Sinhala does not run in your blood, then these words will not mean a lot. That is not, you know, to belittle anybody. That's just the way it is. Because there's a large population of listeners who listen online, and to them Sinhala or Pali is, neither of them is a native language. It is for them, I hope the English translations will be of some use. Pabinna Kilassa Vijita Vijayasa. So who has destroyed obstinacy and who is the victor over conquerors. Anighassa, one who is free from suffering. Susamachittassa, possesses a perfectly impartial mind. Buddha Silassa, has developed conduct. Sadhu Panyasa, possesses excellent wisdom. Vesantarasa, has passed beyond insecurities. Vimalassa, is without stain. Bhagavato Tassa, Savako Hamasmi. So Savaka is a disciple. Savako Hamasmi, I am a disciple. Of whose? Of the Bhagavata, the Blessed One. So you see there are Dhirasa, that's 1, Vigata Mohasa, that's 2, Pabinna Kilasa 3, Vijita Vijayasa 4, Anigasa 5, Susamachittasa 6, Buddha Silasa 7, Sadhu Panyasa 8, Vesantarasa 9, Vimalasa 10. Similarly, there are 10 more or 9 more stanzas in the sutra, each different to the previous one. Each of these a name that you can use to refer to the Buddha. So if someone asks you whose disciple you are, you could say, I am the disciple of the Dhirasa. So you say, Namo Tassa, Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. See, this prefix or suffix assa in Pali means of. You're Anathapindikassa Arama, that is Anathapindika's monastery. So Dhirasa, of the Dhiras, of the Dhira, I am a disciple. Vigata Mohassa, of he who is Vigata Moha, that is free from ignorance. Assa, he is. Of him, I am a disciple. So that's how this works. Okay? So let's all read that out once, the Pali. Can you all see it? Is that good enough size from where you're sat? Okay, we'll all go through it once. And then we can also recite it with a little rhythm, not to get carried away. This is not a song, but you know, it helps to memorize it. Okay? So we'll do that, and And then finally I'll conclude the last bit of the sutra. So first we'll just pronounce it out loud. Dhirasya vigata mohasya pabhinna kilasya vijita vijayasya anighasya susama chittasya vuddha silasya sadhu panyasya vesantarasya vimalasya bhagavato tasya savako hamasmi. All get that okay? Okay, so this is how you can recite it as a verse or as a gatha, and those who know can join along. Dhirasya vigata mohasya abhinna khilasya vijita vijayasya anighasya susamachittasya vuddha silasya sadhupanyasya vesantarasya vimalasya bhagavato tasya savako hamasmi. One more time. Dhirasya vigata mohasya pabhinna khilasya vijita vijayasya anighasya susamachittasya vuddha silasya sadhupanyasya vesantarasya vimalasya bhagavato tasya savako hamasmi. Dhirasya vigata mohasya pabhinna khilasya vijita vijayasya anighasya susamachittasya vuddha silasya sadhupanyasya vesantarasya vimalasya bhagavato tasya savako hamasmi. Okay? Okay. So what we'll do is, just so you can memorize this, in the future sermons, unless someone sends an email saying, Swami, what the hell are you doing? Stop that. I can flow whichever way you want me to flow. I'm easygoing. Right? So if you want to continue to say this, we can do it. If you don't want to, we can stop it. That's fine. I'm not fussed. I think it would be good just for all of us to remind to ourselves, before we say Namo Tassa at the start of the sermon, and every day we do that, before we say that, we can recite this once, all together, and then we can do the Namo Tassa and observe the precepts, and we can kind of use that as a start to our sermon. So you don't need to memorize this. When we start saying it a few times, you will learn it off by heart anyway. You don't need to take this home and start memorizing. But I think most of you know all 10 by heart now, if you have been coming along to the single sermons. But you don't need to, okay? So don't worry about memorizing this. Every Sunday, when we start the sermon, we'll say it out loud once, and then it will stick. So let me conclude the sutra, this discourse. So he gives out all the 10 names of the Tathagata. And so Nigantanatha Buddha has actually one last question to ask. So he's now perplexed. He's wondering, I just asked you, here and now, whose disciple you are? I didn't give you any warning that I was going to come and ask you. I didn't give you any time to prepare. I just asked you whose disciple you are, and you start to give me a whole, war and peace on whose disciple you are. 100 names. So he asks, and when, householder, were these accomplishments of the Samana Gautama gathered by you? When did you have the time to gather all these accomplishments? To which Upali says, Venerable Sir, it is as if there were a huge heap of flowers of many kinds and a skillful garland maker, or garland maker's apprentice, were to make a beautiful garland of it. In the same way, Venerable Sir, many hundreds are the virtues of the Blessed One. Then, Venerable Sir, who will not extol one who is so worthy of praise? So what he's saying is, when the virtues are infinite in number, when the virtues are countless in number, what effort does one need to make to start praising and extolling the qualities and the virtues of the Buddha? So, in other words, what he's saying is, the reason I couldn't do that to you until this time, up until now, was because I couldn't find any. That he doesn't say out loud, but that is what he's implying. And you know what happened to Nigantanatha Buddha, having heard him say this? This is the last line of the sutra. Then and there, hot blood gushed from the mouth of Nigantanatha Buddha, who could not endure the homage paid to the Blessed One. That's the end of the sutra. So he was so shocked to hear those last words from Upali that he couldn't bear it. The moral of the story is attachment leads to suffering. Yes or no? That's the moral of the story. Nigantanatha Buddha suffered because he was attached to Pali. Okay, so we'll contemplate on the Aramaitri, transfer merits, and bring the sermon to a close. May I and all beings in all worlds be freed from the fire of birth, freed from the fire of decay, freed from the fire of illness, freed from the fire of death, freed from the fire of sorrow, freed from the fire of lamentation, healed with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana, healed with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana, healed with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana. May I and all beings in all worlds be freed from the fire of suffering, freed from the fire of discontentment, freed from the fire of exhaustion, freed from the fire of disappointment, freed from the fire of clinging on to the five aggregates, healed with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana, healed with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana, healed with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana. May I and all beings in all worlds be freed from the suffering of samsara, freed from the disease of samsara, freed from the fear of samsara, freed from the fire of samsara, freed from the burning of samsara, freed from the sorrow of samsara, freed from the lust of samsara, freed from the clutches of samsara, freed from the flames of samsara, healed with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana, healed with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana, healed with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana. The karma worlds are in despair. May I and all beings be freed from the karma worlds. The Rupa worlds are in despair. May I and all beings be freed from the Rupa worlds. The Arupa worlds are in despair. May I and all beings be freed from the Arupa worlds. All worlds are in despair. May I and all beings be freed from all the worlds. Nibbana is the only salvation. May I and all beings attain Nibbana. Nibbana is the only salvation. May I and all beings attain Nibbana. Nibbana is the only salvation. May I and all beings attain Nibbana. Letting go is the only salvation. May I and all beings let go. Detachment is the only salvation. May I and all beings be detached. Being freed is the only salvation. May I and all beings be freed. Nibbana is the only salvation. May I and all beings attain Nibbana. Nibbana is the only salvation. May I and all beings attain Nibbana. Nibbana is the only salvation. May I and all beings attain Nibbana. May I and all beings in all worlds be freed from the bondage of lust, freed from the bondage of aversion, freed from the bondage of delusion, freed from the bondage of Mara, healed with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana, 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 healed with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana. Okay. Let us transfer the merits and bring the sermon to a close. Okay, first and foremost, let us all once again, as we did at the start of this sermon, remind ourselves that we are today in receipt of the teaching, the path to our liberation because of the Supremely Enlightened One, the Perfect One, the Awakened One, the Blessed One, the Infinitely Compassionate One, the Magnificent One, the Undefeated One. Let us take a moment to remind ourselves and be grateful towards Him, as well as the Bhikkhu Bhikkhunis, Upasaka Upasikas, as well as all the members of the Mahasangha, including the Mahanayakas, the Anunayakas, who since time immemorial protected and preserved the teaching of the Buddha and passed it down through the generations, through the noble lineage down all the way through to us. Today we have and is available for our access the Tripitaka, which we can study, understand, analyze and comprehend, as well as the pristine teaching of the Buddha in its perfect form. Let us be grateful towards all those who have dedicated themselves and sacrificed themselves on many occasions towards that purpose. May they all rejoice in the merits that we have all acquired today. Let us also transfer merits to Guru Swami Mahanse, as well as all the other monks resident at this temple, as well as the Anagarikas who are resident here. Let us also not forget for a moment the Swami Mahanses, Mehanin Mahanses, and so on, who have always been by your side through the tough times in your life, through thick and thin, come rain or shine. Although today you have come along to this monastery to listen to the sermons and to engage in meritorious deeds, let us not forget for a moment that it is the monks and nuns who reside in your local temples and nunneries, who have always been by your side, who have always been a strength to you, and who has always been to protect you and guard you in the face of calamities. May they all rejoice in the merits that we have all acquired today. Let us also not forget those of our families who are among the living today, our parents, husbands, wives, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, nephews, nieces, grandparents, children, teachers, and so on and so forth. All those people who have helped shape our lives for the better, supported us, assisted us in any way, shape or form, in whatever capacity they could. They have all done whatever they could to help make our lives that much better. May they all rejoice in the merits that we have all acquired today. Let us also transfer merits to all those who have made this event a success. Both the monks and Anagarikas resident at this temple, who have made great efforts to decorate this podium as an offering to the Buddha, as an offering to the Dhamma and the Sangha, as well as those who have made great efforts to making your visit here a possibility, as well as your stay here as comfortable as it could be, either by inviting you, by offering you refreshments, or by ushering you to a seat, by looking after you and attending to your needs. May they all rejoice in the merits that we have all acquired today. Let us also take a moment to transfer merits to those who are involved and engaged in actively propagating the teachings of the Buddha throughout the world, both in written and non-written form, in transliterating these sermons and in making these sermons available to the masses. May they all rejoice in the merits that we have all acquired today. And may through the power of these merits, if any of them have today been born in the woeful states, may they be able to redeem themselves and be born in the blissful plane. And may through the power of these merits they abstain from the unmeritorious deeds. May they fulfill the meritorious deeds. May they fulfill the noble eightfold path. And may they all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us also transfer merits to the devas, brahmas, spirits, demons, and the dead that we invited at the start of this sermon. The devas who have since time immemorial protected and preserved the Sambuddha Shasana, including the Sakradeva as well as the other deities alongside him. May they all rejoice in the merits that we have all acquired today. Let us also transfer merits to the members of the armed forces who fought during a long and cold war in Sri Lanka, those who endured many hardships for our liberation and our freedom. May they rejoice in the merits that we have all acquired today, as well as those men, women, and children who might have lost their lives in the wars, as well as those men, women, and children who might have lost their lives in natural calamities such as the tsunamis, not just in our country but also in other parts of the world, reminding ourselves that each and every one of them will have at some point been a mother to us, been a father to us. With compassion from the bottom of our hearts, let us extend that compassion out to all of those beings. May they rejoice in the merits that we have all acquired today. If any of them have today been born in the woeful states, may through the power of these merits they redeem themselves and be born in the blissful plane. And may through the power of these merits they abstain from the unmeritorious deeds. May they fulfill the noble eightfold path. May they engage in the meritorious deeds further, and may they all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us also transfer merits to those men and women who have dedicated their lives to leading our nation, to protecting our nation, and to developing our nation. It is thanks to their sacrifice and thanks to their dedication towards that cause today you and I are able to set aside a large portion of our times and our life towards our liberation. So therefore may they be able to rejoice in the merits that we have all acquired today, and may through the power of these merits they abstain from the unmeritorious deeds. May they fulfill the meritorious deeds, may they fulfill the noble eightfold path, and may they all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And finally, may through the power of all the merits that we have all acquired today, as well as the merits we have acquired in further transferring of merits, may we be able to witness the advent of many hundreds of thousands of Arahatan Mahanses and Arahat Mehanin Mahanses in this life itself, in this blessed land, in our very lives itself, and in the era of the Gautama Supreme Buddha itself. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And finally, may you and I and everyone who's contributed to making this event a success, who's contributions have been, however small or large, be that monetary or otherwise, be that in contributions, either physical or otherwise, or perhaps by putting their hands together and passing on their blessings towards the success of this event, may they all, however small or large, be able to rejoice in the merits that we have all acquired today, and may they all be able to attain arahathood in this life itself and in the era of the Gautama Supreme Buddha itself. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May I and all beings in all worlds be freed from the fires of desire. May I and all beings in all worlds be freed from the fires of aversion. May I and all beings in all worlds be freed from the fires of delusion. May I and all beings in all worlds attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana, and may the Noble Triple Gem be with you all forever. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.